Hello, my friend. Welcome again to another series. This is series number 8. Series number 8 in the Rapid Influence System, where we help you as an individual, as an entrepreneur, as a leader to upscale, to make your business work better, to make sure that you're having the biggest impact and aligning your people to achieve the vision that you set out to do. Today, I want to talk about something that is quite crucial. In fact, I would ask, is your business bound to fail because of some of these? Or what you'd say, foundational principles for business. This is the new, it's not necessarily new, but it is a way that people are thinking about business. The people who are really making it happen, they think a certain way about their businesses that makes sure that they're having the biggest impact and making the money as well. Now, the impact comes before the money. They are caring a little bit more about the client than they are about how much they make. Because when they do that, inevitably, we begin to get the results. So I want to share with you 7 aspects of foundational principles. When you get this right, I can guarantee success. I can guarantee that you're going to really have a good time. You're going to enjoy what you're doing. But you're going to have the impact as well. You're going to make sure that, you know what, it is the best way to be able to achieve my dreams, my goals of the reason why I set up a business, and I know it's not easy out there, sometimes it's hard, I've had a couple of phone calls this week where, people are struggling. There are people who are, thinking, hey, coach, do I throw in the towel? Or, hey, you know what, it's just not moving. I'm saying, hey, stick with it. If you're following the principles that we spoke about initially, where, the vision is clear and it's something that your heart has bought into and you've assembled a great team, then inevitably you're going to do what you have to do. And it is not an easy road, okay? Entrepreneurship is about being brave. Entrepreneurship is about being courageous. But it's also a wonderful thing when you get it right. So, the 7 principles, I'm going to start with number 1. Love your product so much that you feel obliged to sell it. Let me say that again. Love your product so much that you feel obliged. That, it is an obligation to make sure that people get it. What do I mean? Most failures come from people who do not have a passion for their product. Most failures come from people who do not care that much about the product. They're not enthused about it. They just got in, they said, hey, everybody's doing personal development, let me get into it. Everybody's being a pastor, let me get into it. And they find that along the way, it is not as easy as they thought. And they find that they will fall off the track easily. Why? They did not find a product that they love so much and they know the difference it can make in other people's lives that they're obliged to sell it. It's one of those things where if you don't do it, you feel that it is a disservice to the people who are supposed to buy it. For example, we do public speaking training. I am obliged to sell it because I know what it can do for you. I know how much it can change your life. I know how far it can take you. When we say your voice changes everything, we actually mean it. It changes everything. Your life, your livelihood, your family life, everything changes when you learn the skills of persuasion and being on stage and making sure that your message is heard. So make sure that you have a product, ladies and gentlemen, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes people say, hey, coach, are this series for just leaders or for entrepreneurs? Even you as a leader, if you're, leading a company and you don't love the product of the company, then you're not going to sell it. Then you're not going to be obliged to sell it. This usually comes when I'm doing sales training. I tell the guys in sales training that, hey, you have got to be feeling bad if you don't sell the product. Sales is not about pushing, being a pushy salesman. No, if you love your product and you love your clients, you will do whatever it takes to make sure that the client gets a product. Why? You know it will change your life. If you love it and you're in love with it and you know the difference it will make, it doesn't matter how many no's people are going to say. For example, I get so many people who say no to my product. I get people who say no to public speaking, and I say, you know what? I'm not going to give up on this person. It might not be the right time now, but I know if they get it, if they go through the course, it's going to change their life, and I'm still going to go after them. There are people who have sent emails for 5-6 years because I still believe it will make a difference. So love your product so much that you're obliged to do it. That is the number 1 business principle. Number 2, people buy what they want, not what they need. I need you to think about that. Very, very, very important. People buy what they want, not what they need. You as a person in business must understand that. And this is where you must really take time to understand yourself and to understand the business. Sometimes we are so caught up as business people, we think we know what the client wants. No, don't ever make that mistake. You don't know. Think about it. Sometimes, I'll give you a great example. Sometimes people come to me and say, hey coach, we want a team building. Okay, this is around about around about June, July. Oh, we're having problems. I think we need to do a team building. So they want a team building at the time. And as usual, I'll go in and do my dipstick. I'll do my pre-session analysis, and you realize that actually what they want is team building, but what they really need is a leadership training or a culture change. Or they need, it's a trademark, a pass down session that is going to help them to sort out their problems. It is not that the team is not working together as a team, but they assume. So my job is to give them what they want, i.e. I say, yes, we're going to do a team building. However, when I get there, I then give them what they need. I then go to the next, because I will always tell guys, hey, I don't have a finish time here. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Then I will introduce whatever they need eventually. And then the light bulbs begin to go off and they're like, wow, that is exactly what we need. Why? Because I know that if I assume and tell them, no, you don't need team building, you need this, they're going to say, no, dude, you don't know what we want, so you can't decide. So it's the same principle for you. Do not think you know what people want. No. Give them what they want and eventually give them what they need. That is how you do it. And sometimes, if you have a great product, you're so, enthused with your product, you're thinking it is the best thing since sliced bread. So you're shoving it down everybody's throat. And then you find that the sales are not moving. Why? You're attempting to give them something that you think they want. Okay? Guess what? Take a step back and say, okay, what do they really need? This is what they need. However, what do they want now? Somebody comes in for a software upgrade, but what they actually need is a great antivirus that makes sure that the computer is not slowing down. Or somebody comes in and they say, hey, let us say somebody comes in. What example can I give? Somebody comes in and they say, hey, we want you to design a great web page for us. But the challenge is not a web page. The challenge is the information on the web page. So you give them what they want, and then you give them what they need, which is what is important. That is a fundamental, and I was looking recently when it comes to advertising, especially people who have these big long-term products where, there's a lot of capital investment. Sometimes you got to start off with the small ones, and this has been very, very important in my business where, I've started off with a free seminar, giving them what they want. But then I've told them, hey, on your journey to get to the next level, guess what? You need to become a great presenter. You need to have a warrior spirit. You need to join a mastermind. And then they can see, wow, this is for me. This is my journey. And then bingo, you have them for the rest of their lives. Why? You're serving them not from your perspective, but from their perspective. So that is number 2. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, it's always about how they feel, not about how you feel. Every level of your business must be asking, how do they feel? And I don't care how big, this usually really disturbs a lot of these what we call big dumb companies. Big dumb companies are these companies. They're big, they're really big, but they've lost touch with the people. And usually they sell something that is a necessity, so people are just going to go and buy because it's a necessity. But if the company, and this is what happens in business industries. When anybody comes into the industry, it's easy to kind of, eat away at the cake of the big companies. Why? Because they've lost the touch with the people. It is always about how people feel. So in your business, you must be asking, how do people feel from the phone call they make to when you deliver the product? You got to test everything. You got to make sure you test everything. I do feedback forms. I call my clients back. I will send them an email because I want to know how they will feel for the entire process. Because that is what teaches you that, hey, this is what people are looking for. This is how they feel about doing business with me. I was telling somebody recently that there's a couple of clients who I hadn't heard from. And, I was wondering, why haven't I heard from these people? I thought we did a great job. And then they said, no, actually, somebody came and said to me that, hey, you know what? They were asked, do you still do stuff with Coach Phill? They said, yeah, we used to. He's pretty good, but we're not doing anymore. They said, why? He said, you see, now he's sending us, he sent us one or twice, he sent us other people instead of himself. Now, I didn't know that, even if I, made an attempt to find out. But eventually I realized, oh, okay, so they felt that they needed me in person. So it is up to me to make sure that I find a way to get them to understand that it doesn't matter who comes, you're still going to get the best. I mean, if you want if you want a business suit, if you want a designer suit, okay, by let's say who, by money. If you buy it in Tokyo or you buy it in London or you buy it in New York, it's still the same thing. Armani doesn't have to be in any of those places, okay? Why? But you have to find a way to get your clients to appreciate that they're still going to get the same quality service. That is why your team has got to be inspired to that level where they deliver even better than you. But I had to find out how people feel about it. I have missed out on this business because I didn't, I kind of lost a little bit of touch there. Hey, this is how people feel about doing business with you. If it is not you coming, give them a better reason why it is still okay to do business with you. So that's number 3. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen, never think you know what's best for your client. This is a fantastic thing to think about, especially if you're an entrepreneur who's scaling and who's beginning to build. And even the big guys, never, ever, ever assume that you know what's best for your client. It is important to always ask how they feel, how they want to be served, how they want to appreciate the service, whatever it is. Because, again, you sometimes get these light bulb moments which are great. I was listening to a gentleman, Dean Graziosi, and he said, you know what, sometimes when I'm teaching, I need to put myself in the feet of a person who has never gone through personal development. Now, I've been doing personal development for 18, 19 years now. My thinking is totally different. My thinking is at a higher level. However, I have people where it is their first time in the audience. But think about it. It is about how they feel. It is about what is best for them from their point of view. So a person where it is the first time they've read a personal development book, you can't then all of a sudden give them the big picture concepts where it kind of blows their mind. And guess what? I've been in that trap before where I'm thinking, you know what? You should know this by now, and inevitably I'm going to lose some clients, okay? Why? I am thinking I know what's best for them and not understanding that it is from their perspective that we have to come up with great products. That is why people do surveys. So do a survey for your company. Do a survey and ask, hey, how are we doing? Okay, what would you like us to change? Great companies find a way to get feedback consistently. If you look at all the big players online everywhere, you look at Google, Amazon, whatever, they're consistently getting feedback. They're consistently looking at, hey, what testimonials are out there. Why? They do not want to assume. Never think you know what is best for your client. Number 5, consistently find ways of marketing. Everywhere, everything is marketing, okay? This used to be an Achilles heel for me for a long time. I thought, hey, I got a great product, no marketing. But I realized, you know what? Without marketing, what's the point? What's the point of having a business without marketing? Marketing is the blood of the business, okay? Every little interaction you get is a good way to interact. Now these days, everybody I find, I have to tell them about the business. I have to tell them about momentum. I have to tell them about RS. I'm telling them about public speaking. Why? Remember the first point. You must love your product so much that you're obliged to talk to everybody about it. Now, I don't care who I find these days, I'm going to tell them about the product. Even people who, initially I used to think, oh yeah, that guy will never come. Guess what? Now I'm going after them. Why? There's opportunities in marketing everywhere. It doesn't matter. I go for a dog show and marketing business because I'm thinking if you have a dog, you need to be a great leader. Okay, so I'm talking about leadership. I'm talking about public speaking. Why? That is a fundamental business success principle, okay? Everywhere you go, you must consistently, the word being consistently, find ways of marketing all the time, every time. Next, you must always put yourself in a position where you are in your client's mind and completing the conversation. Most of this stuff comes from Dean Graziosi, like I said, because he's a fantastic marketer, but he's also a wonderful, wonderful businessman, okay? And this is what, this I think is a creme de la creme. Complete the conversations in your client's head. Okay? Camp out in their head and find out what is it. There's a company there's a fast moving goods company in this part of the world. And I remember somebody telling me about 7-8 years ago, before this company was so big, that they are always asking themselves a question. The children and households who are growing from, into middle class and are going to boarding school, what is in their suitcase? And then they decided they wanted to be 90% of the products in that suitcase was going to be their product. Guess what? Now they're one of the most successful, the biggest producer of household goods in this part of the world. Why? They're camping in their client's head. They're asking, what are the necessities? Not necessarily luxuries, necessities. But also the luxury side, they know they can go there. You know, I'm always asking myself a question. This person who's just gotten a job, what do they want next? They want to go to the next level. What should help them? They need to have a warrior spirit. They need to have clarity. They need to have what? Momentum. So I produce momentum. But there's some people who have been with me for much longer time. As a CEO, is whatever. Now, those guys, I'm sending them bigger things like masterminds and executive coaching. Why? I am always in their head asking. Okay? You look at Google. You look at all these great companies out there. They're always in the heads of their prospective clients asking, what is this person looking for? What is the next thing? What do they want? When you camp out in their head, you come up with great products. When you come up with great products, selling is easy. Marketing is easy. Why? It becomes a necessity for these guys. You find them coming and saying, hey, you know what? Just give me the product. Why? You have come from the perspective of where they are. And finally, people learn, buy, and love you because they feel understood by you. This is crucial. This is very, very important. If your clients don't feel understood, if they don't feel that you take time to really understand them, if they don't feel that you take time to really know where they are, these videos that I'm producing now, there's a certain segment of people that they are for, because I've studied these people. I'm always finding out. I'm going to their pages and finding out what are they looking for, what are they, you know, if it is a businessman or a CEO, whatever, I know this stuff is important for them. Why? I know that this is what is going to help them to scale up in their journey to be better. So I'm always thinking, what are their fears? What are their desires? What are their aspirations? When people feel that you understand them, boom, it becomes magic. When people feel that you go to the extra mile to do whatever it takes to appreciate where they are, to understand their issues, to understand their challenges, then it becomes easy to trust you. Then it becomes easy to do business with you. Remember, people do business with people they trust. Now, if you are not trustworthy and people do not feel that you understand them, then it's going to be hard. It doesn't matter how great a product is. If you don't take time to really understand and portray that you understand how your ideal client feels and making them aware that you understand where they are, then it's going to be a uphill struggle. So whatever you do, think about those 7, and I can guarantee you, if you go after them consistently and you pursue them with your heart and soul, remember the first one which I said, with an obligation, because you have a great product, I guarantee you're going to not only enjoy, you're going to have a greater impact, and you're going to make more money, and life is going to be much, much better. So as usual, as I say, live strong, live with passion, and I'll see you on the other side, because you have audacity to make life work for you. Thank you.